Hey, brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, yep.
What's going on with you, man?
Everything's suave-tastic, man.
It's well,
Just
amazing,
been,
right?
yeah, been grinding out all day.
Okay, I
Hmm.
feel you on that one for sure, for sure. Happy Dr. King Day.
Yeah, yeah,
So
man. Let me tell you, man. You know, for this to be something that's nationally, but sometimes I think internationally recognized, man. I guess you know how people say like Christmas is a day that they is normally good for people, but for me, man, MLK has been consistent like a trigger for me, man. Not
it's the
and
day.
huh?
It's
Yeah,
the day for me.
yeah, but see, for me, it's a day because how I you remember when we were in college and we was promoting and trying to advocate for this day to happen, and so and when you think about growing up and how I was taught and the things and during those years, man, it was something that was big, and because I have this strong desire and belief in us, I just always think about our ancestors and the things they sacrificed for us. And sometimes, man, it just takes me back to those moments that what they done and how I look at us collectively and where we should be. And of course, the bottle's half full, but I just want it to be overflowing. You understand?
I
I don't
agree.
want it to be half full. I want it to be overflowing because I think that we should just, these people was king and all the people did so much for us. And I just think that we should have a level of appreciation. And sometimes it puts a damper on me when I think about where we are and where I believe, my personal belief, is where we should be. And sometimes it just, I mean, it's a great day to celebrate, but it just thinks, I just, you know how people always say the expectations, and people say you shouldn't, no expectation, no disappointments, but it's another part of that. And that is you want to have expectations for people, especially when you love them, you know?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, and it is rare, um, because I just look at it's not observed still the way that it should be, in my opinion, because there's a lot of places that still don't observe it. Employees get the choice to take off, and they don't get paid for the day off. It's just a few things, but like you said, it's the point of being able to appreciate the sacrifices
Yeah, the
that was
sacrifice.
made. I agree with you 100%. It's about the sacrifices that was made, and how we approach things, and making sure that we can continue to give back to our ancestors that gave so much and sacrificed so much and was able
Yeah,
to. And the thing really about Dr. King that really I guess reinforces me is the fact that he did promote nonviolence, and that's tough.
yeah,
It's tough to promote nonviolence for change. It's tough, because, especially when the other side is nothing but violent towards you.
yes,
So
yeah,
that's the amazing thing about Dr. King that really resonates so much for me about him, and how he instilled in us about the humility, and making sure that we keep God first, and
yeah,
making sure that we keep the thought of family and loved ones in mind, and continue to build regardless of our obstacles and whatever we face, and not to strike back the way that they strike at us, and that's tough. and
yeah,
I and I can say that every day for me is tough. It's
yeah,
tough, Frat. It's tough, man.
yeah,
And it do take a different type of person to be that strengthened within, that much strength within yourself, that you don't strike back. Because I'm gonna tell you, for me, it's plenty of times the first thing I want to do is strike back.
well, I ain't gonna, I'm gonna just, let me tell you, when, let me tell you something. I don't know if I ever told you, I got them around here somewhere. I took you ever heard of King and Non-Violence Foundation?
I have. I have.
Okay. Yes, I took the class and Dr. Charles Alphin was the instructor. And
Okay.
bruh, I tell you, of course, I did well in the class and I learned a lot, but it's so much difference in theory and practice.
I
And
can
when
understand
somebody
that
is
concept
able
too.
to practice what they learn and being consistent with it says a lot. That's why I always say you don't do better when you know better. You do better through the application of discipline. Discipline is number one. I'm telling you, because you can sit there and say everything by in theory and words, but when you're doing it, and he was that person that did it, you know. And so we have to look at that in terms of, because that showed us that we was able to overcome a lot. Because had we not had the discipline, and had it been some people like I would say is coming from me, I would have struck back. So he needed people to be extremely disciplined, not to sit there and say, yes, Reverend Doctor, I know I shouldn't have did it. I know I compromised this. He didn't have no room for that. He needed people to be extremely disciplined, to not misrepresent the cause, misrepresent what he was trying to get accomplished, and how ultimately all of us, not just us, but all of us benefited from. So that took a lot of discipline, self-control, because he did it. And so if he can do it, we can do it. It's the same like when God, when Jesus able to do certain things, we can do certain things. But we have to be disciplined. And just, for that alone, man, it can give us the strength to move forward and have that level of appreciation for him.
I agree 100% with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that. And again, I think it's the point of being able to appreciate the sacrifice, be able to understand what the sacrifice was, because without sacrifice, there is no advancement for us. We have been sacrificing for a long time, but without the sacrifice and appreciating the sacrifice what others have done for us, it's a long way. It's a long way, brother. It is. And that's what I wanted to do is actually, I'm trying to work through it now. I want to share this. I want to share his speech.
Uh-huh.
I put this on. But I definitely want to share his speech. So let me see if I can get my share screen right over here and share his screen with us and be able to do this thing, man. Give me a second here.
We on here tonight.
We on here tonight, brother.
We on here tonight.
We are.
And again, if he can make these, these big sacrifices, man, we can make these small ones.
I agree. Let me see. I hear the video.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I'm not able to get us in. Let me see, Fred.
At this time, I have the honor to present to you the moral leader of our nation. I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest.
I'm trying to pull him out on this, Fred.
No, we're going to get it.
Yeah, we will. Give me a second here. Y'all, I'm going to bring it back. Don't worry about it. I was...
A great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today.
If you don't already know, Grammarly is an online tool for writing you do in your day-to-day life. The free version can help you with minor grammar mistakes, punctuation errors, and simple things like that. But when you upgrade, you can do so much more, such as set a desired tone and intent behind your writing or run plagiarism checks. Grammarly even gives you an overall score based on correctness, clarity, engagement, and delivery of your writing. You can sign up and use Grammarly's basic tools for free, but upgrading is so worth it because of the in-depth writing insights they have. My favorite part about upgrading to
I didn't even know where this came from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it came from somewhere.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah, it did, but it's okay. We're gonna work through it tonight. I don't care.
yes,
I'm gonna show. There he is. I'm gonna show my brother. I'm gonna show my brother. I hear him.
Yeah.
But he ain't showing up on my screen here. Brother, I don't know.
At this time, I have the honor to present the leader of our nation. I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We listening to him.
Yeah.
So we'll listen to him right now. I'll take that for right now. Can you hear him on your side?
Yeah.
Will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a glorious daybreak to end the long night
There you go.
of captivity.
I got you.
But 100 years later,
We gonna get it right, brother.
the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. In the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. So we come here today to dramatize the pain of equal existence. Ever since we come from our nation's capital, has been checked. The architect of our republic wrote a magnificent word of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. They were providing a promissory note with every American across the whole half. This note was the promise of all men. Yes, black man as well as white man, to be guaranteed unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the happiness.
Come on.
It is obvious thing
want a lawn that looks like this. Your lawn looks a little bit more like this.
Oh, y'all, we had some
right
commercial
check out
station
True
identification.
with a local
We're
lawn
gonna skip these
experts
ads
that
though.
guarantee results you can see.
I'm just streaming
Every
live
True
from
Green Lawn
Facebook.
specialist brings a truck full.
I mean, from
of PhD.
YouTube.
That America has defaulted on this promissory note.
Forgive the interruption.
Citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check. Check which will come back marked insufficient funds. We refuse to believe that the bank of justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until that is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But that is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical.
All right, guys, if you've been injured in a car accident, you have to check this out. So I just got this check.
Power. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. And they have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our body is heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the city. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution, staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities. Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children be able to sing with new meaning, my country tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Yeah, but like I was saying, the thing for me is how relevant it is still,
Yeah,
and how prevalent it is today for us.
absolutely.
It hasn't really changed in 50 years.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I say how I'm so real with my feelings about it. You know, it's relevant today.
Right.
And especially a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
So, but
I
we still
agree.
have to be grateful.
The sacrifice that they made, that came before us, and really, I know it for me, just being able to honor him by playing that speech. He has other great oratory, things that he's done. But of course, that's the one that's the most well known. But
Absolutely.
he was just speaking some genuine things, some real things, and the thing again being so profound that it's still so relevant today, so far away from when he wasn't he actually lost his life, and it's still relevant. And I was talking to my wife tonight about, we're still battling for voting. We're still battling for voting rights, man. I mean, they're talking about passing a voting bill in Congress today, all day today. It's unfortunate that in the early '60s we're still battling that same demon.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that we're doing that,
Yeah.
and we have to be conscious and cognizant of the things that's going on around us, and be able to unite and be able to bring these powers together to be able to overcome a lot of this stuff. And as long as they can keep us separated and diverted and our minds on other things, the enemy wins every single time. So, it's just I just felt that it was necessary just to give it up to him and honor him by playing his speech, so we can really realize that much hasn't changed, man. Much hasn't changed. It hasn't.
There was a dealing with the voting rights. There was a program on Netflix called Rigged. It's hosted by Jeffrey Wright. Check it out. It's very good. It's called Rigged. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing us on today, this evening, recognizing this brother, this king, this reverend, this doctor. Definitely, again, that speech never gets old. It touches a place in all our hearts. Um, Again, it's a time for me. Gives me time to reflect. Um, it's always I just be in a place on this day every year. Because again, I have these expectations that we should be more progressive. Because we had everything laid out for us at the right time when you and I was born. So we're talking about legacy that was set for us. That's why I guess we all have to be forever grateful for the people who was out there who fought a good fight, and never take our elders for granted. So that's what I have to
I
say.
agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. Again, it was just now is the time for us to be able to come in and to reflect, like you said, and celebrate and uplift
Mm-hmm.
and elevate those who came before us, especially Dr. King, because he did do a lot. People downplay it, and a lot of times I don't think that people understand the magnitude of his sacrifice. And those during his time that sacrificed for us, John Lewis and all those other guys, Andrew Young, those guys, they sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
And our ancestors sacrificed a lot. I think that a lot of that is taken for granted, and they don't understand that we're not far removed from that.
Yeah.
We're not too far removed from it. And we just have to stay conscious of it, man, and be able to continue to build on our ancestry and our legacy and the things that actually strengthens our culture. And that's what we're here to do, is just to make people aware of it, to make it conscious, to spotlight those things so we can feature it, so that appreciation and that respect for who came before us is recognized. I think I just don't want that to get lost in the whole scheme of things, with things moving so fast and technology being what it is. I don't want the sacrifice of our ancestry to be lost, because it was real and it was serious.
Yeah.
It was real and it was very, very serious. And, being able to, if we have the ability to get back to the mindset community, as far as the community is, it takes a village. I think that things would go in a different direction for us, because independence and selfishness is a huge part of the DNA of what technology creates for us. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think we have to, build ourselves and be able to reinforce ourselves and put ourselves in a good situation before we can help others. I do believe in that. We have to be a good example. At the same time, still we have to be open enough to understand that it's bigger than just us individually.
Yeah. Mm.
It's bigger than just us individually. So again, I'm just happy to be here to be able to use what we have, to be able to get what we need, to be able to build who we are, and to reinforce and to empower us. So I just thank you for taking time out tonight, man, for just to come in and observe Dr. King, because he deserves every minute of every second of what we can give him for what he did do to be able to help us to be cognizant of things. And again, it's just unfortunate that we're still battling for the same things that he was battling for 60 years ago. But we have to overcome. We have to keep it moving. So we'll keep that solemn celebration together for Brother King. And again, Brother Suave, I appreciate you coming in and spending a few minutes that we did have to be able to observe for Dr. King and to be able to give it up for Dr. King. The general, I know he got caught up in some other situations, and I know his heart is here. So I just look forward to coming up for this week, and I'm looking forward to getting the show going, man. And so I'm excited about that. I've been looking at the scheduling and your concepts, and I'm just trying to pull it together myself. And we'll get a chance to get in some pre-production stuff and get it right before the show jumps off. But I thank you, man, for coming in tonight. I want to thank everybody else who came in tonight, giving it up for Dr. King and observing who he is and his legendary status and how he's helped for us to evolve for us and our culture, and be able to empower our culture with the wisdom and understanding of how we need to ground ourselves and stay focused and stay cognizant and stay objective, about things that's going on around us, and to overcome those little snares and traps that's been set out for us constantly for so many years. But I'll let you get your last words in, brother. I do appreciate you coming in.
Well, again, said it. I'm just happy that we was able to, because it's just a small sacrifice compared to all the sacrifices our elders and forefathers made for us. So again, I'm honored, and we had to get this opportunity to recognize his brother on this day.
Well, y'all, I guess that's going to sum it up. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate you coming in. Ain't nothing but love from our side. Neighborhood Planet. Our neighborhood, our world. Dr. Brother Suave, we're going to be back with our family coming up soon. We're going to y'all keep it tight and hold it tight. We're going to be announcing some things and making sure that we have Brother Suave on schedule, because we got some things for y'all who need that therapy, who need that little mental infusion and tweaking. We're going to make it Suave amazing up in here, huh?
Yeah.
So, brother, enjoy the remaining of it. It is still early in the week. Take care of yourself. Stay warm. It's trying to get cold out here in South Florida. They said we're gonna be in the 40s tomorrow. So oh man, y'all in the teens though, huh?
Yeah, it was a 2023 today.
Oh man, good luck.
Okay.
That's all I can say to you. But brother, I love you. I thank you for coming in. So we're gonna go ahead and put a cap on this thing, everybody. Okay. Enjoy your week. Remain well, everybody. Love those who love you back. Stay focused, stay strong, keep God first. We'll be back in touch. All right. Peace, brother.
Peace.
Check you later.
All right. Bye-bye.